one?
It's just sort of the first kind of 10 days of workouts been like with you guys.
Yeah, Coach Gilderslee's real pleased with where we're at. The younger players, as they're learning, they're in kind of a introduction type orientational phase, and they'll slowly start making sure that they're kind of working in their own groups and sort of teaching more techniques and things so they can spend more time with them that way. So there's really 4 groups going through each day. And they'll slowly start integrating into that. We do get some meeting time with them and kind of split that up a little on-field time to see them run around. So I think it's all been good and positive. You can continue to see the confidence and retention of information and the things that are kind of being built upon that way. So that's good.
You guys are obviously working out here in the indoor facility.
Yeah.
What has Coach Gilderslee said about that? Does it change much for what you guys do?
The work, really, it's. I think the guys have really adapted well to a different setting that can be different, and there's benefits to it to have the turf right there and transition time and things, but. It's still kind of juggling of schedules a little bit, through camps and other things that we've also always got to make sure we're hoping the weather cooperates, because it does limit us a little bit on some things. But right now they've made the most of it.
How's progress on the construction?
I haven't gone down there much. I haven't heard anything about delays or anything. I've been fortunate to kind of go through these at other places, and I used to be the guy that would walk in like every 3 days to see if anything even looked different. I've been thoroughly impressed, though, with from demolition on how quickly and there's, we're here, with recruiting activities this weekend, and there's people in there, trucks around, and it seems to be. I haven't heard anything about any concerns yet of not meeting our needs of when we need to be in there.
You guys don't have a specific game on the schedule as part of Big 12 Mexico, but what are your thoughts on the prospect of a future bowl game in Monterrey?
Yeah, that was talked a little bit about options and where that was at when we were in Arizona. I've been one that intrigued by those things, excited. It's tough sometimes. Some people see those as can be difficult, but I look at another great opportunity, A, for student athlete experience, B, for us opportunity and branding and things. When I met with Commissioner Yormark when he came through, I told him that anything that was sort of outside the box thinking, that and if Kansas can be part of that, I'm interested in hearing that, and then of course with Travis's approval that we would explore. So I'm excited about it. When the first, I guess, rumors or whatever of this happening, we talked about it being a regular season game of some capacity, and now maybe trending towards a bowl game, and I don't know what the approval procedures are, but I think it's neat. Exciting for our basketball teams to be part of the first ones there again, you see what our commissioner's doing in an aggressive marketing plan to keep spreading what we're doing.
Is there any updates on Jalen's kind of shoulder injury?
He's throwing and he's going. He's doing just fine, and there's nothing that has ever been even a concern right now.
You guys obviously have had a lot of high school recruits come through visit. What's the construction going on? How are you guys kind of handling showing that things?
Yeah, that's it's a balance. To me, I'm not, I'm not a 17, 18-year-old anymore. But obviously, and everybody looks at it differently because you wish you had tangible things to show. But I think the exciting thing is we've got videos, we've got the things that have been released. We've, some of the blueprints of what the future is going to look like. We're not totally there for the whole project. Yet, but anytime I've always felt when you see things moving and changing, and whether it be cranes and other things. You know, something's on the move, and something's building, just like we're building this program. So I think it's been positive. There's some eyes opening up about what things will look like. So I think that'll continue to grow when it's completed.
Coach, from recruitment, we've seen it heat up a little bit. I'm wondering if you expect that to even pay off last year's success, to even pay off in the recruitment more in this class of 25, 26, so those recruitment relationships go back.
Yeah, well, as we talk, there's some things when changing how the program's been looked at is going to take time, and depending on, that can be in different parts, but I think the improvement of our program, things are happening, all that continues to build, and I think we're finding ourselves in conversations with players that are being recruited by other schools that were maybe slightly different than they were our first 2 years. I think it has that's for many different reasons. One is obviously on field, two is commitment, maybe three is stability as staff and seeing things, our players and the experiences that they're having. I think some of our approach, I think our recruiting staff and assistant coaches have done a good job, and I think we're better in some areas in our approaches that I think is helping us, and we got a lot of work to do yet and keep at it here. We got an important week coming up here, and another one to follow before we hit a dead period.
How about improving the defense? Curious, where does that start from your perspective? Is it a scheme thing, about getting the right guys in the building?
Well, yeah, I always say is, we know, offensively we've taken big jumps early. Defensively that hasn't happened, and we know that within the walls, and I think we've done that with some things in recruiting. I don't want to sit there and live in the past, but we have to remember that besides the attrition that happened in this program before our arrival, in essentially the first week of being here, we had 3 defensive starters decide to leave. Besides changing scheme, those are some big dents that we're still working to. Yeah, we were able to get, Lonnie and a guy like Craig Young and some guys, but those are things that can sometimes set you back a little bit through its transition. This defense has just gone through only its second spring ball, and I think when you look at some of those things, there's good and there's plenty to improve upon. Just like anything on both sides of the ball, it starts up front. And we know we've continued to recruit. We've had some graduations and things like that up front, and we intend to be better. And it starts there. We're more experienced and deeper at linebacker. I think we're more athletic. I think a guy, Taiwan Berryhill continues to get experience, and his type of athlete that I think is a guy that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. J.B. Brown's a guy that's going to add to that, and a lot of those things that can help us. And of course, with the whole secondary returning, you hope you can A, stay healthy back there, and B, continue to grow with confidence that allows us to do things as we kind of grow up front.
When you talk about the recruiting aspect of the player experience, how much do you ask your current players to kind of lead that with recruits and share their experience?
Well, a lot. We had, it was kind of interesting. We had 12 prospects on campus, and everyone has a student host. We had student hosts that were seniors, and we had some student hosts that had been one that was on campus 12 days or so, so it's kind of we look for matches for a lot of different ways, but the cool thing about it to me is everyone's got a little different story and what their experience and where that is, whether it be short term, 1 semester, 2 weeks, or multiple years, and I think that's the nice thing that not just for the player but for his parents to see. And because that's when they get the chance to sit down, have a meal, ask questions. What's the biggest thing? What do they like? What did they see? What has changed? And one of the more fulfilling things I get, Matt, as a head coach is when I sit down with a family at the end of the visit and they talk about our staff and their experience. And they talk about the transparency, the honesty, the consistency in answers that we give people, and it's not rehearsed. And the nice thing, because the ones that are watching and really paying attention know that's not true across the board. And when people want to dive into this program and they're going to look at its foundational components, but where it's going and how we've done it at other places has been about that. And that's why, because a lot of times in recruiting, people are telling everybody what they want to hear. Let's face it. And we're talking about, but this is how you're going to get there. And the other things that we have some very good things and we have some things that we have to improve upon. But we don't hide from that. And many times, and we look at stability of our staff and what we've done, because we talk about that, we expect that staff to be there for the whole experience. Where other places, it's probably a guy that's stopping in for a cup of coffee.
Lance, it used to be not too long ago, June was a lot more relaxing for you guys.
Yeah.
Now I know you've been in camps, your staff's been in camps, you're hosting your own camps, you got recruits in. Just about like
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody I used to work with was hit me up this weekend. They were in town and they want to stop by, and I was like, I wish I could find a window. I'll let you know here. And then something ran over, and it didn't work out. And I said, yeah, June's not what it used to be. And we were, we've been to more than 7 other camps. We had 7 other days we were out and splitting up different groups, usually in groups of 3. And I was in 7 different cities in about, a couple, 2 in one day and stuff. And getting out there, and it's what it's become. The calendar is, things that are looking at what we're trying to do to give everyone their best opportunity is becoming even more stressful. And because now with the unlimited visits, people are stretching out visits, and now you have multiple. Now you have midweek visits. You're trying to attend to your roster. You're running your camps. You're doing things. June has become as busy month as there may be for us. But and thank goodness we're on a nice positive uptick that we can try to take advantage of it.
What's your thoughts on the 2 Friday games to get going?
I'm saying, they kind of went hand in hand. Obviously, opportunity for us to have exposure on a Friday night against a Big Ten opponent was something that I feel is for our brand, our recruiting, all that. Fridays are tough, but I like them both. I like them both for different reasons. Again, I know we get into the high school football part of things, which is tough. In today's world of where it's going and TV contracts and that, you're starting to see it. Friday night college games are going to be more and more frequently. That's just what it's going to be. And just like I'm sure there's times where I know it's not always convenient for our fan base and where it's at, and there's conflicts, just like I'm sure it's not always easy to drive to Lawrence on a Monday night for a basketball game. But I know we need our fans there. I think it's exciting. I think it's for our fans nationally that we have a chance to be, if not the only game, one of 2 games versus being buried in a group of like 30 games at one time. And when those opportunities come, you have to holistically make decisions that are not just the immediate, but for our program's future. And I think, Travis and Chancellor, see that as well and what we can do. Part of that was moving the Thursday opener back to Friday in a way of days and weeks of preparation. So, I was excited about the Thursday, but again, the Friday will be fine as well. The challenging one, to be quite honest, guys, is the night game, the third one, and the travel time back to get back here. That's the one we're struggling the most with. That is uncharted. For us, a little bit as far as some of that goes and working through that. But to have 7 home games and open those, we did. I know Travis and Colin Sexton had, reached out to our 2 local high schools and tried to talk about ways to do it and other opportunities that we presented to them, and hopefully it was early enough. I know it's not always popular, but I know there's high school games on Thursdays, there's high school games on Saturdays if schools don't have lights. I've seen it across the board, and hopefully we can get out in front of these things when they present themselves, that those schools may have the ability to adapt schedules and work that everyone benefits from it to their best, and we work from there.
Lance, I'm curious with the high school enrollees for the summer outside of Jacoby Davis, is everyone here?
Jameel Croft is not here yet as well, and we expect him, shortly.
Anyone else, Coach?
All right, thanks.